Hi, my name is Mickey and this is yoga. Intro to Vashistasana side plank. So today we're going to be focusing on the placement of our shoulders, our arms, strengthening our core, and also our legs. Vashistasana is a level 1 arm balance, but it is challenging. But what we want to do is focus on gaining strength and stability, and more importantly, building a better understanding of our body's fundamentals and mechanics. You ready? Let's get started. We're going to start in child's pose. So let's come onto our knees, feet together, knees apart, and then walk your hands forward and lie your body right on top of your thighs. Spread your fingers, lift your forearms up away from the floor, and then rest the top of your head, rather your forehead, on the floor. Come into this space. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Again, deep breath in, stretching through your arms, keeping your sit bones down on the floor. Exhale out. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Slowly start to walk your hands all the way as far as you can to the right side of your mat. Try to send your hips back down towards your heels and breathe through the left side of your body. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale, reach through your fingers and exhale it out. Slowly walk hand by hand over to the other side. Go as far as you can while keeping your sit bones down on your heels. Now you're going to feel a nice stretch on the right side of your body. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. One more time. Inhale and exhale it out. Slowly start to walk your hands back to center and come on up into tabletop. Let's thread the needle. So you'll take your right arm, thread it through, and bring your right shoulder onto the floor. Try to get the back of your head on the floor. So what you want to do is use your left hand and push yourself over the shoulder toward the back of your head. Now what tends to happen is the left hip wants to come forward. So I want you to try to get your left hip to move away from the rib. Take a deep breath in and exhale it out. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Use your left hand, press yourself up into tabletop, and let's do the other side. So you're going to thread your left arm through so that your left shoulder ends up on the floor. And then use your right hand to try to get the back of your head closer to the mat. So your gaze is going up towards the ceiling. And then once again, your right hip's going to want to come towards the right rib, and you're going to move it away. You're going to lengthen the right side of your waist and breathe. One more time. Take a deep breath in and exhale it out. Use your right hand and press yourself up into tabletop. Let's start working the core and the legs. So you're going to extend your right leg back, pull your pubic bone up into your navel, and lift your right leg up. Start to extend your left arm all the way forward as much as you can, and keep the back of your neck long. You want to keep as much connection in the front body so that you don't dunk. Find length. Find your core, transverse abdominis, wrap that girdle around your ribs. Now we're going to add on. Take a deep breath in, lengthen, and as you exhale, bring your elbow and your knee to touch. 2 more times. Inhale, lengthen, and then exhale, knees and elbows to touch. 1 more time. Inhale and exhale, draw it in. Last time, hold it here. Pull your belly in, close your ribs. Take another deep breath in and exhale, release. Other side. Extend your left leg out. Spin your left inner thigh up towards the ceiling. Pubic bone to the navel and lift the left leg. Wrap that girdle around your ribs and start to reach your right arm forward. Find length through the arm, through the leg, through your body. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, round elbow to your knee. Inhale, lengthen out. And exhale, bring it in. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Last time, extend and hold it here. Close your ribs. Pull that belly button in. Reach from fingertips to heel. And then release. Tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. Spread your fingers. Straighten your elbows. Spin your inner arms externally, so towards your ears, towards the ceiling. Now, try to bring your chest bone towards your hands, but your belly towards your thighs. Spin your inner thighs towards the back wall and get your heels to get closer and closer towards the floor. And breathe. If your shoulders feel like they're coming up by your ears, they probably are, and send them down your back. Couple more breaths. Try to grip the floor, pressing down into your first finger and thumb. We're going to roll forward into plank position. So it's important that you not only use your arms, but that you're also using your core and your legs. So obviously you're going to feel it in your shoulders a little bit. So I want you to press down into the tips of your fingers, broaden across your collarbones, and try to draw your thumbs towards each other. That's going to help. Now, close your ribs, pubic bone to the navel, that's your core. Now straighten your legs, spin your inner thighs up towards the ceiling, tighten your knees. Bring the palate back so that you're not sending your chin forward. Hopefully you're in a nice straight line. All you're gonna do is rock forward and back. So you're going to the very tips of your toes and back. One more time, inhale. And exhale, drop down to your knees, child's pose. You still with me? All right. Deep breaths. I know that was hard, but we're gonna do that one more time, all right? We learn through repetition. So first, downward facing dog. Spread your fingers. Come forward into plank. Broaden across your collarbones. Draw your thumbs towards each other. Close your ribs, pubic bone to the navel. Now, work your legs. Palate back. Come forward to the tips of your toes, balls of your feet. Tips of your toes, balls of your feet. One more time. Tips of your toes, balls of your feet, downward facing dog. Woo! Breathe. Deep breaths in, extension through your spine, through your arms, through your legs, sit bones up. Slowly start to walk your feet all the way up to your hands. Separate your feet so they're about hip-width apart and bring the weight forward towards the balls of your feet and fold. For a moment, I want you to bend your knees a little bit, enough so that if I was there in the room with you, I could see it. So you want your shins to come forward. Now from here, I want you to start to straighten the legs. Keeping the shins forward, start to spin your inner thighs back and tighten up your knees. Keep that work. Fingertips on the floor, lift your chest, Ardha Uttanasana. Stay here, try to broaden across your collarbones, try to really stretch through your spine. Take another deep breath in, exhale and fold. Bring your hands to your hips, elbows back, lead with your chest, and come up. All right, we're gonna work our arms for a moment. All you're gonna do is reach your arms out to the side, turn your palms to face up, and notice how your eye of your elbows are facing towards the ceiling. Do your best to keep that, but flex your hands so that your fingertips are facing towards the ceiling. Imagine you're pushing the paparazzi away. You're like, leave me alone, get out from one side to the other. Chest is lifted, long spine. Now what's going on with your legs? Can you straighten your legs? Could you root down through your feet and lengthen all the way up to the crown of your head and breathe? Take a deep breath in and exhale, release. Walk back to the front of your mat. Inhale, stretch your arms out and up. Exhale, fold, fold. Inhale, lift your chest. And step your left foot back. Bring your left knee down to the floor and rise up. All right, so we're gonna add some arm variations with our hip flexor stretch. First, we're gonna start with the Garudasana arms, eagle pose. Take your left arm underneath your right. If you can't get the palms together, it's okay. You can take the back of your hands. Shoulders down the back. Try to broaden across your collarbones and rip your elbows away from each other. Fingertips up towards the ceiling and maybe even your gaze. Take another deep breath in. Exhale and release. Clasp your hands behind your back. Roll your shoulder heads back and do a back bend. So root down through your legs, scissor your legs towards each other and lift the chest. You may even lift the chin and throw your head back. Take another deep breath in. Exhale and release. So this next one gets a little more challenging. So if you have a strap or a towel, you may need to use it, or even your shirt. Gomukhasana. Left arm up, bending your left elbow. Take your hand behind your back. Now take your right arm and see if you can clasp the fingers. Once you have the fingers, what happens is the ribs open. I want you to close your ribs. Draw your tailbone down, lift your left elbow up towards the ceiling and your right elbow down. Pull your navel in again, firm up your legs because you're going into crescent pose. What? Yep. Lift up, breathe. 3, 2, and 1. Release, hands to the floor. Step your left foot forward, step your right foot back. Drop your back knee to the floor. Reach your arms over your head. All right, so we're gonna repeat the same thing, starting with our Garudasana arms. This time the right arm comes under the left arm. Palms together. Shoulders down the back. Broaden across your collarbone, so you're trying to rip your elbows away from each other. And now try to reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling. So you're pulling the shoulder blades apart, creating more and more space, more flexibility. That's what we want. It's not just about strength in yoga, it's also about flexibility. And release. Clasp your hands the awkward way, so opposite than what you did before. And then roll your shoulder heads back, lift the chest, start to straighten your arms and come into your back bend. So now your shoulder blades are moving in towards each other and then into the back. So opposite than what we were doing before. Maybe the chin lifts and the head goes back. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, release your arms. Gomukhasana arms. Right arm reaches up. Bend your elbow. Take your left arm around the back. And again, see if you can grab your fingers. Right elbow is moving up. Left elbow is moving down, and even your shoulder head is moving back. Get ready. We're gonna straighten the back leg and come into crescent pose. And still breathe at the same time. 3. Lengthen the right elbow, lengthen the left elbow. 2. And 1. Release. Step it back, downward facing dog. Remember, at any time, if you feel like you need to come into child's pose, you can. You can press pause, take child's pose, and then jump back in. Moving on. Come into plank. Come onto your forearms. So in this forearm plank, what I'd like you to do is to have your arms open and stack your elbows right behind your wrists, okay? Try to get your first finger and thumb down. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Again, deep breath in. And exhale. Slowly start to walk your feet forward for Dolphin. So if you have tight shoulders, this can feel a lot more extreme than downward facing dog. But that doesn't mean it's not good for you. It's actually better for you. Press down into your first finger and thumb. Take your chest closer towards your thighs and look between your feet. Your head should not be resting on the floor. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Slowly walk yourself back into your forearm plank. And because I don't want you to think I'm too mean, I'm gonna let you take a little bit of an active rest. Send your hips down, tops of the feet on the floor, long, long legs. Try to stretch them to behind your mat. Try to touch the last little piece of fabric of your mat. Now, press into your forearms. Try to slide your body, your chest, through your shoulders. Sphinx pose. Take a deep breath in and exhale. One more time. Exhale and rest onto your belly. Rest one cheek down. Oh, this should feel like heaven, but we're not going to stay here. We have so much more to do. You'll be so glad when you finish. But in the meantime, let's go back. Sphinx pose. Tuck your toes, tighten your knees. Forearm plank. All right, here we go. Walk your feet together. You're gonna spin yourself over onto your right forearm and draw your right shoulder blade into the back. Keep your legs nice and straight. Place your hands on your hips. Now, if this is too much for you, hand on the floor. If this is still too much for you, knees on the floor. All right? What I want you to do is to put less space between your body and the floor. So you gotta push into the forearm, lift your hips, and not just that, you gotta rotate your bicep towards your fingertips, getting the shoulder blade to go into the back. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, come onto your forearms. So now I want you to observe what's happening in my left shoulder blade as I turn to the back, all right? So, I'm spinning, I'm drawing in, right? Different than this. You won't want to collapse. You do not want your shoulder head to be out of the socket. Then, instead of here, I'm lifting up. Bring your hands to your hips, sternum towards your chin. Keep those legs nice and strong or modify. Never do an in-betweener, right? It's either here, hand on the floor, or on your knees. Give me one more breath. Come onto your forearms. Come onto your knees. Child's pose. Fingertips reaching out as far as you can. Sit bones staying down on your heels. Breathe through your back. 1. Again, breathe in. 2. And 3. Walk your hands back. Downward facing dog. Let's move on. Step your right foot forward between your hands. Spin your back heel down, and let's come into Warrior 1. Root down through your legs and lengthen up through your torso. Stretch out, maybe palms together. Take another deep breath in and open out into Warrior 2. Let's work on those arms again that we did when we were standing in Tadasana. So you're gonna turn your palms to face up, and then you're gonna flex your hands and turn your fingertips to face the ceiling. So I want you to find that inner rotation, actually external rotation of your arms. So the palms are out, but the elbows are moving up, all right? Because we're preparing for Vashistasana, side plank, where our arms are gonna be straight this time. And I want you to see what happens with your arms and with your shoulder blades without putting pressure on it. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, straighten your legs. Reach your fingertips out. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Find as much length as you can to the right side of your body. Straighten your legs and bring your hand down to the floor. If you can't touch the floor, you don't have a block handy, just place your hand on your shin, okay? Pull your navel in, lengthen through your torso. Breathe. If it hurts your neck to look up to the ceiling, look down. Take another deep breath in. Exhale. Let's move into the balancing pose of Trikonasana called Ardha Chandrasana. Bend your right knee, reach forward, glide up, and balance. Right, so it's all about foundation. Make sure your right foot didn't move. The toes should be facing towards the front of your mat. Have a light touch with your right fingertips. Now, can you lengthen through the spine, through the legs, through the arms? Take another deep breath in and slowly make your way back into Trikonasana. Turn your head to look at the ceiling. Bring your hands to the floor, lunge. Step back, downward facing dog. Let's repeat everything on the other side. Step your left foot forward for warrior one. Spin the back heel down, root down from the floor and build up from there. Using your legs, your core, and your arms. Palms together, maybe gaze up. Take another deep breath in. And then exhale, open out into warrior two. And again, let's work on those arms that we're gonna do in Vashistasana. Turn the palms to face up. Press out through your palms. Keeping the rotation external so that your shoulder blades are moving into your back and you're strengthening your arms by pushing out. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, straighten your leg. Trikonasana, reach your fingertips. Tilt your hips, draw your left hip in, lengthen, and bring your hands to the floor. If you can't touch the floor, bring your hand to your shin or to a block. Now, close your ribs. Let's work on that core a bit. Wrap your girdle around your ribs, thread up your rib cage. Reach your fingertips, your right fingertips up to the ceiling. See if you can touch the ceiling so it's a lighter touch on your left hand. Breathe. If it's hurting your neck to look at the ceiling, look down. In fact, let's all look down because we're gonna move into our balance. Bend your left leg, reach your left arm forward, glide, and lift. Make sure your left toes did not move. Lighter weight on your left hand. Breathe, extend, right? It's all about expansion. Can you find more and more space? Through the arms, through the torso, through the legs. Bend your left leg back into triangle pose. Reach and extend. Look up to the ceiling and release. Downward facing dog. Shake out your head. Nod at yes. And then come down onto your knees. All right, so we're about to come into Vashistasana, the arm balance. What I want you to do is incorporate everything we've been working on. We've got our arm rotation, okay? We've got the core, and we've got the legs. We're gonna go through it 2 times. The first time, we're gonna do it with a little bit of a kickstand, a modification. If you feel comfortable with it, then move to the second stage where it's the full pose. But if you still feel shaky, and like it's too hard, stay with the kickstand the second time around. All right? Come into downward facing dog. Step your left foot about a foot forward. And then take your right shoulder blade into the back, spin your right bicep towards your fingertips. Vashistasana prep. Reach your arm up. Most important is that you don't want your shoulder to be here. You got to get that shoulder blade to go into the back. Sternum is going towards your chin. That'll make you so much lighter. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, release, downward facing dog. Now, watch my arm. Watch what happens in my shoulder as you do it with me. Step your right foot slightly forward. Spin your left shoulder blade into the back. Left bicep is moving forward. And here you are in your Vashistasana prep. Not here, but here. Take another deep breath in. Exhale and downward facing dog. All right, here we go. Full pose. Feet together. Keep your right hand on the floor. Spin on the outer edge of your right foot. Right shoulder blade into the back. Voila, you're doing an arm balance. Pretty cool, yeah? Lengthen through the legs, inner thighs go back, pubic bone to the navel. Thread those ribs together. Wear that corset. Arms, maybe even the finishing touch. Head. Release, downward dog. Here we go, big finale. Feet together. Roll over onto the outer edge of your left foot. Left shoulder blade moves into the back. Straight arm. Strong leg. Strong torso. Right arm is reaching. Gaze up. 3, 2, and 1. Plant your hands, downward facing dog. And breathe. Step your right foot forward between your hands. Drop your back knee. Anjaneyasana. Take the top of your back foot onto the floor and place your hands in front of your heart center. You're going to twist. Left elbow on the outside of the knee. Draw your navel in first, off your thigh. Pin your hips together. So you want to draw the hips in so that they don't move. Find length and twist. While you're here, press your hands into one another, broaden across your collarbones, and lengthen more. The more space you create in your spine, the easier it is to twist and the better it's going to feel. And that's the goal, right? We want to feel better. Take a deep breath in and exhale. It's not about looking at the ceiling. It's about feeling better. Downward facing dog. Second side. Step your left foot forward between your hands. Drop your back knee down and come up. Take the top of your right foot to the floor. So, scoop it in, draw the hips together, fold your hands together. Right elbow on the outside of the knee. Lengthen, pull the belly in, away from your thigh again. Pin your hips together again, find length. Palms together, broaden across your collarbones. Always keep in mind, on your inhale, it's easier to find length. On your exhale, when the air is out, you twist. Do that again. Inhale, find your length. And exhale, you twist. Release. Downward facing dog. Onto your knees. Child pose. Forehead on the floor. Reach out through your shoulders to the arms, to the fingertips. And come onto your belly. Let's come into Backbends and Locust, locust pose. Clasp your hands behind your back. Keep your elbows bent and roll your shoulder heads back. Bring your forehead to the floor. Now start to straighten your arms. Start to straighten your legs and find more and more length. Kneecaps are going to come off the floor. Lift your chest. Lift your thighs. Lift your chest. Lift your thighs. Maybe even arms. Breathe. Make sure there's softness in your face and you're not using your neck. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, release. Our next back bend, you're gonna grab your ankles. So So you're gonna bend your knees. Forehead on the floor. And instead of letting your knees open out as wide as your mat, you're gonna try to keep them as close together as possible, maybe even touching, but at least hip width apart. Shoulder heads move back. Lengthen your quads towards your knees. Then lift your chest. Again, shoulder heads back. Now start to push your ankles into your hands. Send them to the wall behind you. That's gonna lift your chest. Now you're gonna balance on your belly. Lift your thighs. You always wanna find extension for your spine, otherwise it's gonna hurt your lower back. So lengthen your legs, lengthen your chest. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, release. One last time. Bend your knees. Dhanurasana, shoulder heads back, lift the chest, lengthen and press your shins into your hands. Lift your thighs. 3, 2, and 1. Really, it's hard to talk and be on your belly. Lucky you're not talking, I hope. All right, let's come on to our booties. Paschimottanasana. So, it's better if you're actually on your sit bones. So what you want to do is to roll your buttocks flush out from underneath your sit bones so that you're as far forward as you can be. And then you want to rotate your inner thighs down. Now for some of you, it's not going to be possible. You're not going to be able to straighten your legs all the way. That's okay today. But things only get better when you work on them. So you're trying to push the back of your knee onto the floor without letting your heels come up. Heels stay down. Now, lengthen through your instep, through your big toe mount. Inhale your arms up, reach, reach, reach. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, fold forward. Grab a hold of the outer edges of your feet. Pull your belly button in and continue to fold forward. 5 breaths. 4 breaths. 3 breaths. 2 more. And slowly come up. Staff pose. Walk your hands behind you. Now, if you have tight shoulders, turn your hands slightly out. Otherwise, I like that you have your fingertips facing towards your feet. So watch me first. I'm going to do it 2 different ways. One is the full pose. The other one is the modification. Don't let your ego tell you have to do the full pose, okay? If you need to do the modification, that's wonderful. I do the modification all the time. So this is the full pose. Shoulder heads back, lift the chest, lift your hips. Head goes back. Modification, which you get the same benefits, you're gonna bend your knees. Again, you want the shoulders to move back first, so your chest is out of the way, then lift the hips, right? If you do it in the opposite direction, if you do here, and then try to get, it's not gonna go anywhere, right? You're gonna be this person. You wanna be here, all right? Let's try to hold for 3 breaths. Just do your best. If you have to come down, you have to come down. I'm gonna do mine with straight legs today, okay? Shoulders back, lift the chest, lift your hips. 3. Firm up your thighs, lift your hips. 2. Relax the neck. Last breath. And release. Lay all the way down onto your back. This is gonna feel amazing. You're gonna open your legs out about as wide as your mat. Arms down by your side. Roll your shoulder blades underneath you. We're not going to Shavasana yet. So close. All you're gonna do is take your legs and you're gonna go in and out. Like you're 5 years old and you're waiting for something and you're like, I have ants in my pants, and you're gonna try to go as fast as you can. What we're doing is we're helping break up still more connective tissue so that when we go into Shavasana, we're so relaxed that we're gonna wanna stay there for the rest of the day, and we're gonna feel completely rested. Because a lot of us, our hip flexors are on fire all the time, especially if you're driving in traffic, and especially if you live anywhere in America. All right, keep going as fast as you can. 3, 2, and 1. Close your eyes. That should feel pretty amazing. Start to deepen the breaths. I know I don't want to leave here either. Feel the weight of your body. Slowly start to move some part of your body, maybe your fingertips or your toes. And then let's stretch, reach your arms, stretch them over your head, reach your toes out from your hips. And then bring your knees up into your chest. Roll over to your side. Press yourself up. Sit for a moment. So sometimes we do a lot of work and we never actually sit in it, enjoy it. So I want you just to close your eyes and just feel what your body feels like. Feel what your breath feels like. And congratulate yourself. Especially if you've never done Vashistasana side plank before. I hope you're enjoying your journey. I hope you'll be returning tomorrow. Hold your hands in front of your heart center. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.